Hello and welcome to Brocky Mountain Movies. I'm your host, Rocky Mountain Brock, and today we got a two for In the Heat of the Night and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Both starred the late great legend, Sidney Poitier. I'm going to review these together because a legend and dream has died tonight. The legend of Sidney Poitier, the first African American to ever win Best Actor, and my dream of meeting and thanking him for the impact he has made on the world. His two best known movies are, of course, In the Heat of the Night, where he plays Mr. Tibbs himself, and of course, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Both of these were groundbreaking when they first came out, and were arguably instrumental in the civil rights movement. While the impact of these movies has been diminished for all the right reasons, these still hold up as masterpieces in their own right. Both of them deserve an 8.1, but let's talk about them individually. In the Heat of the Night plays Mr. Tibbs, a black officer who has to go into 1950s Mississippi in order to solve a case. However, the fact that he is black is constantly getting in the way of the case, and how all the other officers treat him. What this movie does well is showing off Sidney Poitier's chops. If there are ever three people who ever had chops, they would be Sidney Poitier, Chadwick Boseman, and Bill Murray. Those three, they have the chops. And In the Heat of the Night gives Sidney Poitier plenty of times to show off his chops, his range as an actor, and his overall talent. If I had to point out the worst part, it would be that the mystery is a little hard to follow. What they're trying to solve. Sidney does his well, but in the last 20 minutes when everything comes together and you figure out who it is, it's just a little hard to follow. This isn't his fault, but it is a flaw of the movie overall, earning the film only an 8.1. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner falls into a similar boat. As my friend explained, Sidney Poitier is playing the same character in both of these movies. I could say, hey yes, but so does Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, arguably Jamie Foxx, the list goes on. And I say both of them still hold up. And Guess Who's Coming to Dinner plays Sidney Poitier as a much older gentleman about to marry a younger white girl after they meet and have dinner with her parents. What I like about this film is that it's kind of delightfully overdramatic. Even if you take out the fact that they're different races, there's still a lot to process, and they make it very overly dramatic. The fact that they're getting married only after knowing each other for a few weeks, but if the father has a problem with this, he can call it off. So a lot of the problem is that the father has to honestly look within himself and say, do I honestly have a problem with this? And again, it's delightfully overdramatic because even nowadays, there's a lot of reasons to say, slow down. Not stop, but slow down. You only knew each other a few weeks, there's an age difference. We can talk about this. And this movie doesn't utilize Poitier's chops as well as In the Heat of the Night does. But when they show his chops, they show his chops. It does the number one thing that I feel movies of this caliber should do, and it might have been the first one to do so. The idea for both of them was simply this. Simply put, you have to put your cards on the table. You have to take your entire moral fiber and make a critical decision that affects people's lives. Which I think rings true even today. Everyone keeps trying to get this false sense of higher moral ground, but when the rubber meets the road and you have to put your cards on the table, you have to legitimately look and say, am I a good person? And these movies both have that call. You gotta look inside and say, are you? Which is a postmark of great cinema and always will be. And speaking of cards on the table, it's best to take the aces that both these films give, because we have just lost a king. Final score for both, 8.1, 2 thumbs up for both, and of course, golden stamps. I'm Rocky Mountain Brock, and God bless Sidney Poitier. Amen.